Dear Bubba, I'm a gearhead, and like you, I like to mess around and tinker in the garage. I have recently, which I don't know if I should have done or not now that I'm halfway into it, getting into the task of building a new small block 350 Chevy. May I please bug you with you to list all your racing components on your website? Racing component? What do you mean, like what the kind of parts that I like after you buy your short block? What I use?
I think that's what he's asking.
Well, yeah, I can probably put that on my website. I can also probably tell you here audibly. God, if I can remember. Let me see here. Help me out here, Ned. Crankshaft, I use Callie's. Ned, have you ever used a Callie's crank or no?
Oh, yeah.
You have used a Callie's crank.
I have used Callie's crank. I think they're very good.
I wasn't familiar with Callie's until I started hanging out with Clay Ziegler, and he said, try this. And, man, they got a really lightweight crank. I mean, Callie's is the crank that I use. Intake, I've always been an Elderbrock guy.
Oh yeah, Elderbrock.
I mean, always been. If you really do like these parts, then just
don't. Do you think I'm lying?
Well, I think that maybe you're just mimicking me.
All right.
No, but I mean, are you an Elderbrock guy?
I am.
All right. No, stop it, fellas. This guy asks for help. This isn't I'm not getting off on a racing part tangent now because I'm trying to sell somebody a Callie's crank. This guy asked me a question. Would you prefer me, Spice, just to put it on my website?
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Too bad. It's my show. Pistons, man, you gotta go with. Now, Ned, I don't know if you know. I know you know about J&E Pistons. I mean, even all the NASCAR guys run J&E.
Yeah.
All the NHRA guys run J&E. J&E is the industry standard with piston. But I don't know if you know about the new short-skirted gas-ported piston. Have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
Short skirt, so it's like, half the weight, which
really?
Rotating weight is everything. And there's this small little hole that's drilled at the very top of the piston, which causes it so when it combusts, a small part of the flame and explosion goes up through that hole and causes a better downstroke.
Nice.
And I know you're big on the downstroke.
Yeah, love the downstroke.
And I don't know if necessarily I explained it right. I just know that they're really, really, everybody was trying to get the short-skirted, gas-ported J&E. Anyway, J.E. Pistons by far. I mean, please. And, I mean, Ned, do I need to talk about, what you're going to do on valves? I've just recently hooked up with my fine friends over at Ferreira. And you've never used Ferreira. I don't know if you've ever been able to afford them up until
Not until now.
Until I was able to hook you up with my boy Zeke.
Yeah.
Man, them hollow stem titaniums. Now, you can't get I'm going to be honest with you, man. You're not going to get a lot of mileage out of them. You're not, they're good for, like in the NASCAR deal, they're good for 500 miles. But my Lord, if you're a drag racer and you're changing them out anyway, poof. Or just go with the stainless hollow stemmed. Spice, do you even know what a valve does, Spice?
No, don't care.
You don't care?
No.
You don't know what a valve does?
No, honestly, I don't care.
No, I know you don't care, and I really know you don't care, and I appreciate that. But do you have any idea what a valve does?
Imagine it lets something go through something.
See, you're halfway there. You have an intake valve and you have an exhaust valve. And in an intake valve, it opens up to let fuel into the combustion chamber and then closes. And then as the piston comes up and hits and it makes the explosion via the spark plug, which causes the combustion, which at the end of the day, causes the motor to rotate. Then the exhaust valve opens up because you have to then get rid of all that exhaust. So you were right. See, I mean, as much as you're trying to be a dick to me, I can almost learn you some of this stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think he's paying attention.
So, Spice, I just spent 15 seconds on telling you what a valve does. Could you repeat what I just said?
No, actually, I can't. You said something about an intake and an outtake valve.
No, it's an intake and an exhaust valve. I guess you could probably bone it on down to call it an intake and an outtake. But
there you go, and one goes in and one goes out. So
right.
Boom.
And what's the end valve letting in? Fuel.
Right.
And what's the and what is the outtake, as you call it?
Exhaust.
Valve? Exactly. And what kind of valves are the best ever made?
Short skirt something?
No, those are pistons.
No.
Those are J&E pistons. The short skirted gas.
That was the only thing that caught my attention. You said short skirt. I was like, ooh.
Oh, those are some sexy ass pistons there now, aren't they? How about we should do the Bubba Race Talk / race car part components quiz with you to see how much you're paying attention. What type of intake does Ned and I usually prefer?
K&N.
No. That's our oil and air filters, K&N. We have an intake manifold. Probably the longest running best intake company ever. Been around since like 1920.
I don't know, Manson? Do
No,
you know?
They're not called Mansons.
No, I wasn't really following.
Elderbrock.
Oh,
There's going to be a quiz after this. There's going to be a quiz, fellas, okay? So just pay attention.
I'm going to get an F.
Anybody remember what type of crank I use? They also make cams as well.
Cali crank.
There you go, Kelly.
I remember that one.
How about the Pistons?
Not so much.
Short skirt.
They're short-skirted and with gas-ported J-E.
And they got a hole in them for the downstroke.
J&E.
J&E.
Well, J-E, actually. J-E Pistons. And back to our original. They're out of Fort Lauderdale. They listen to the show on all facets. Our valves.
Didn't he just say this?
Ferreira, jackasses. Pay attention.
I can't. I literally can't. I don't know what it is. There's something about I cannot pay attention to this.
It's almost like a Chinese.
You've got to pay attention.
Language.
I'm going back to this, fellas. Ned, you know what? Jet Performance does all of our modules as far as performance tuning and things like that. But I didn't know if you knew that they're huge on carburetors.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're building me a 750. I think a 750 double pump right now.
Ooh, nice.
Over there at Jet Performance.
That sounds real nice.
My boy Dan and the fellows over there. Anyway, back
double pump.
And now, Spice, you are familiar because you do have one of these systems on your car. The cold air induction intake made by
K&N.
K&N.
I know that too.
Yeah,
I have one as well.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I like that thing.
So even the two biggest nerds on the show that know nothing about race car motors, but they do know that K&N is the number one way to make your car get about an extra 2 or 3 miles per gallon. The first thing you should do to your car, not your race car. Well, yeah, obviously you should do it to your race car, have a K&N filter, but on your stock car,
it makes your car sound really badass.
It does. It kicks ass, man. It's breathing better.
That's what I know.
At the end of the day, man, if you can
That's all I know.
I know I sound like a badass.
If you can aspirate your motor and get it to breathe better, not choke down, because obviously, your air-fuel mixture is what makes your car, run.
Now, I got a chip in there too, right?
You have a Jet Performance chip. There you go.
Yeah.
Look, see, as much as you're trying to fight this, some of this
No, I'm not trying to fight it. What it is it's hard for me to retain stuff like this because,
Back to what kind of cranks do we use? I feel like I'm talking to third graders here. What kind of crankshafts do we use?
Cali.
There you go. What kind of intakes do we prefer?
That's K&N.
No, that's oil and air filter. What kind of intake? Remember, they've been around since the 1920s. Ned loves them.
Edelbrock.
There you go. How about pistons?
J.E.
There you go. How about valves?
Ferreira.
Ferreira. How about carburetors and performance modules?
Jet.
There you go.
We done?
You guys wouldn't know. No. Then
it's like in class and you're waiting for the school bell to ring.
I got a few more here for you.
And as soon as the test's over, you forget it all.
Yeah.
Ned, I guarantee you've never heard of this. And you probably don't have an aftermarket oil pan, like a 9-quarter. Because, the more oil you can, you just go stock up.
Stock Willie.
Next time, man, you got to go to Don Olson. I don't know if it's Don Olson Motorsports or just Don Olson. If you just Google Don Olson, O-L, I think it's O-L-S-O-N. He makes the best dry and wet sump oil pumps. I think all the sprint car guys, all the late model guys, he makes valve covers as well. Don Olson oil pans, Ned. If you ever want,
is that the Firestone guy?
No,
yeah, I thought they make tires.
No, this guy's out of California, man. A guy named Brian works there as well. I think it's his son actually. Of course, Ned, in the industry standard when it comes to gaskets would be what, Felpro? I've always been a big Felpro guy. I don't really know of anybody else really.
Yeah.
God, when it comes, I'm trying to think of what I get with comp cams. I usually get my cams through Cali's, but comp cans, I think they make all. God, let me try to think. I think they make the roller rockers. I think they make the timing chain, stud girdles, rocker studs, push rods, guide plates, spring locators. I'm just trying to think. Comp cans has got it all. Yeah. So there you go. That's my that's as far as my rockers, timing chains, stud girdles, rocker studs, guide plates, spring locators, push rods. You can just go to compcams.com and get it all. Let me see what else.
And then you race it, you break it, and then you got to do it all over again.
Yeah. Ignition, you can only industry standard. I don't even know if there's anything really else besides MSD. ARP bolts throughout. Let me see. Connecting rods. Oh, Ned, you got to check out this new company. Not new. It's really not very well known. Clay Ziegler turned me on to them. They make the lightest connecting rods. They're called, it's Manly.
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 Something I want to look into. Manly.
Manly rods.
Manly rods.
Out of
it's a great porn name.
Manly rods.
They make the lightest connecting rods ever. Manly out of Jersey. Check them out.
I love Manly rods.
Brent, make sure that I get a hold of the web department and we do like a whole big Bubba's engine component section on the website, okay?
Okay, no
I
problem.
can get my hands on some of those Manly rods.
So, Spice, can you name me where we get our gaskets from?
Serious?
I told you I'm going to keep going back to you back and forth. So you should have been keeping notes, kid.
I literally have no clue.
I'll tell you one more time.
I got to get high.
Don't mess it up. Felpro. Back to the original. Where do we get our cranks from?
Cali.
There you go.
Cali cranks.
How about the intakes? Let's say I wanted, double high-rise, two big, so I can squat 2 big 4 barrels on top of there. What would I call?
This is like a level of hell for me and Spice.
Elderbrock, Spice.
Quizzed about auto parts.
Car part purgatory.
Spice,
What?
Elderbrock, say it.
Elderbrock.
How about our valves?
Where do you get your gaskets?
I don't know.
Felpro gaskets. Spice, how about valves?
I don't know.
You know valves.
Send me to hell. Valves. Where do you get them?
Ferreira.
There you go. How about pistons? Short-skirted, gas-ported.
I don't know.
J.E., jackass. Where am I going to get my rocker stud or my guide plates?
Rocker studs.
How about my stud girdle? Where do you want to get my stud girdles at? Comp cams, jackass. Who makes the best connecting rod, Ned? Your favorite new place out of New Jersey. Ned, lightweight connecting rod.
Man, I'm sorry, my eyes were glazed over for a minute.
Manly.
Manly rods.
Manly.
Like a brain fart.
Am I wasting my time?
Yes.
Am I? Seriously. I got one guy that wants
Ned's got manly rods on his mind.
Manly rods.
Ned, what did I tell you about the oil pans? Who makes the best oil pans ever? Wet and dry sump. Guy out of California.
That's Don Olson.
There you go.
Now let's go out. Me and Ned are going to go get a nice, big, juicy, meaty Mandingo.
Yeah. Finally.
Then go over to Manly Rods.
I'm telling you right now, man, if you're looking for, and then finally, the only thing I could probably think of is if you want to get like a lightweight power steering component with some lightweight billet pulleys and things like that, that's where you can save a bunch of rotating weight and make a bunch of horsepower. I think there's a place out of Georgia named KRC. They make a ton of lightweight billet aluminum power steering components.
We'll call ourselves KRC.
Where are you guys based out of?
I don't know. I can't remember what you said.
Georgia. How about the rods? What kind of rods do you like?
Manly rods.
Oh, my God.
They did a bad, bad thing.
Another break.
They did a bad, bad thing.
Gone horribly wrong.
What?
They did a bad, bad thing.
More of the Bubba Radio Network after this.